out, we'll have an opportunity to review this excellent panel. So let me begin by the first question. So, what are the most significant changes to the H-1B visa rules that employers and applicants should be aware of?
Yeah,
Go ahead,
good,
Kavita, maybe.
good question. Yeah, but before that, as you said, like we have to say some disclaimers.
Correct.
So, this is only for general and information purpose only. There is no attorney-client privilege uh, by whatever we say here. And immigration is very complex. So, whatever we are saying here may not be applicable to you. So, I would suggest that for a specific case, please contact any of us later or contact a qualified immigration attorney. So having said that, your question, I believe, is for whatever the significant changes in the H1B currently. It's burning topic now.
Mhm.
So thank you for doing this session and where like the current, the last Friday at around 6 p.m. We all were shocked to hear that the H1Bs have to pay $100,000 and and whatever was in the video was very different than what was stated in the proclamation. It was a proclamation, and we all decoded and came to conclusion that it's like a travel ban, but it's more than that. We will go into the specifics of it in detail, but basically that is what it is, and we are not clear, but we know is it is not for people who are inside and who are on H1B and who has H1B stamping already, they are not affected. And we are still not clear what if they have to go for stamping and if they are outside. So these are things which are not clear, and we'll definitely discuss in detail. I think the next question is we'll be discussing that in detail. But definitely one thing is like people who have stamping here can travel without any fear. We were so worried last week about people who were coming from outside, and people have rushed, and the companies have told them to come back as soon as possible.
Mhm.
So, I even heard that
Mhm.
the flight tickets were around 4,000, 5,000 for that time. So, anyway, that the panic, that was the shock it created is something. Which we can forget. But anyway, it's kind of settling down, but still we are not clear. That's what I would like to say for whatever the current burning issue for the H1B. There are so many other H1B issues, but I'll just go, let Mary and
Yeah.
Shri speak.
Sure thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I just want to add that, adding to what Kavita said, it doesn't affect those who already have H1Bs here, and they have said that extensions of stay also will not be affected. They keep saying it is only for new petitions, but the definition of new petition can mean so many things. Like, we don't know if they're going to ask you to pay the fee if there's a change of employer, or if it's only if you have to go through the lottery and if you're subject to the H1B cap. And they have not clarified about eight. There are a lot of cap exempt institutions that also file for H1Bs, and like researchers, doctors, teachers, and we're not sure, we think it will apply to them because they're all filing new petitions. They're not subject to the cap. So they have not clarified those. There are a lot of pending questions, but at least if you already have an H1 and if you're filing extensions or you're traveling on your existing stamp, you should not have a problem. We had some clients go to consulate for stamping today and they were fine. They were issued new visa stamps, but we don't know if all the consulates are being consistent with that. So that's another thing that we should wait and see what happens in the next few days.
Got it.
So just adding up to that, as this is the main topic, we might not be going very detail in
Mhm.
every topic, but this is the main. So we all are in a group, among ourselves as well. And so we discuss, and the unfortunate thing is we also wait to see what the other attorneys, clients are going through what's the update, because the proclamation is completely, the wordings are completely different from what has been issued from the latest of the update. Even the Department of State issued in the morning today is not at all clear, as Srividya and Kavita said it rightly. It says new H1B. There are very many scenarios. Even a cap exempt employee who already has been holding H1B could have been in India for a few years, but they could not have completed the 6 years period. So then they come under the new employment when we choose to file for them. So in that case, are they going to be subject? Is all these are, sometimes it's going to be the practical scenarios we go through within ourselves to figure it out, or we are just waiting to see that if there is going to be a much clarification that's needed. But hopefully, even I heard not through directly from our one of clients, but someone had gone through the consulate and they had been approved of a visa, which gives more hope towards the situation, because there was still yesterday we were sure that when, as repeatedly they had been saying, it's going to be new H1B. So then the people who had been holding the visas, we were sure because they had started entering the US with no concerns. So then the next question is for the people who doesn't, because the proclamation or the further USCI, everything
The memos,
confuses
yeah.
with the visas and the petition together. So it's two different things, as anybody could understand, but they couldn't even differentiate. So with all these, we are finding hope in the situation. So means even now the Department of State says that 2026 petitions means they, if they could have meant it's going to be only the cap petition of 2027, because it's year ahead, we mentioned that. But I don't understand, even coming from like a very high places like the USCIS or the Department of State, how do they say that? Because 2026 is already completed. So what's new on that to even talk about it? But what they could have meant with the interpretation we have is it is meant that it's the 2027 cap, which will be filed in 2026. That's what it is meant. So within ourselves, we are interpreting, and this is all about it, actually.
Yeah.
Very good.
So yeah, they've probably, as Mary rightly said, like they themselves were so confused with the terms of what is a
Yeah.
petition and what is a visa. So
Mm.
we have to assume so many things based on what it says, the language, even with the Department of State and the press secretary statements. It's even more confusing than than making it clear. They confuse us more.
Right. So, in fact, since we started speaking, there have been more people that joined. So I wanted to reiterate the process that we'll be following. So right now, the attorneys introduce themselves, and uh, we're going to be asking them a set of prepared questions, and then we'll throw it open for audience Q&A. The audience Q&A will be moderated by Lena and me, so that we'll pose those questions. So please type your questions in the Q&A tab. So, in fact, my next question is how the new rules impact the lottery system, right? And the chances for first-time applicants versus repeat applicants.
So
What are
yeah,
the
the whole thing which we now kind of assume is that it is only going to impact the new cap petition,
correct?
and hopefully that is what the case is. So definitely, for we believe that for the H1B cap there is going to be 100,000 fee, and that is what the conclusion we have come now. So definitely it's going to impact the new petitions, the F1 students who are going to apply for the lottery. Somebody told me today that next year is the last chance for me. What should I do? I mean, unfortunately, with what we have, I'm hopeful that it's going to change with the lawsuits and whatever is the pipeline. And but whatever the current scenario, that is the category which is going to get affected.
Right, right.
Yeah, the
Anything to add?
cap, I think there are some other provisions also mentioned in the proclamation that will affect the cap season. They have asked the Department of Labor to revise the prevailing wages. So, other than the $100,000 fee that the employer may be asked to file, they may also see higher wages in the prevailing wage levels. So they should be prepared to pay higher salaries. And there were murmurs of them somehow the cap being salary based versus merit based. We're not sure. They have not published anything. But that may be coming down the line where they're saying like people with the higher salaries will get selected rather than it being a true lottery. I don't know if where they get the legal authority to do that. They don't. But as we know with this administration, everything is done via executive orders and proclamations. So there may be a lot of changes coming to the lottery next year that we don't know about, but they're definitely going to revise prevailing wages. And from this proclamation, if it stands up in court, they may be subject to a $100,000 fee by then.
And even the project DOL, which they
Yeah.
said a firewall.
Yes, Project Firewall. DOL has launched Project Firewall, which is supposed to be they're going to do more investigations into H1B companies and audit, audit companies who file H1B. That was also launched today.
Okay.
Yeah, right. And just to add it up, the same. In 2020, when they revised the wages in a day, just in a day, they increased the wages like a one-third of whatever existing. So the wage level, crazily got it. And then it happened 3 weeks. It was all going on, the chaos. But however, the only reason they didn't, it just was revised as a policy memo or somewhere related to that. So that didn't stand. And that was it was an injunction that stopped them. But now the way that the Department of State has been on their memos and everything announcing was like, so we are going to be doing it as a rule making, which is going to be something, it's going to be hard enough to challenge in the code. So that's where they are taking their time, and they do have time, because all these the lottery elimination and then wage level base, all these are going to be favoring the bigger employers and the companies, and the intention towards the smaller or the mid-sized employers are going to be the one who's going to be completely affected. It's not like everybody is going to be employed by all the big
Correct.
bigger corporations. That's what the concern is as well underlying to it.
Okay, thanks. So are there any changes in how the USCIS defines specialty occupation under the new regulations?
So the modernization rule defined, specialty occupation. This is very subjective because we all are in the business immigration. So the one thing I've been observing in our practice, in our own law firm as well, is like it's going to be very subjective. As said, like the scrutiny that happened with the F1, not much was going on in the last few months, except this Friday, this one happened. But before that, it was okay. We were having definitely RFEs on the specialty occupation, because the modernization rule was completely different, defining the specialty occupation and the requirements of it, and all those had been. But fortunately, it was not much scrutinized, and the denial was not happening. And also, things were pretty okay with that going forward till now. So definitely the definition was completely different in the modernization. Maybe the other attorneys can add it up to that, their views on that.
Yeah, what they said with the specialty occupation, obviously there should be a logical connection between the field and the education and the requirements. So that is what it was. As Mary said, like, it was very smooth, like what we had seen from last year. There was no changes in the how they practiced it, and it was all okay, except for, recently they started with some, like, where the scanned signatures, and instead of rejecting the petitions, they started issuing the notice of intent to deny, where there are digital signature, where it was, even though it was a signature, but still they used it not in a wet signature. So they were accepting for all these years. Suddenly they put something where, so in practice, I mean, coming back to the question of the specialty occupation, in practice, we have not been seeing any changes as such.
Got it.
But, we may soon see it.
Okay.
Yeah, same. I mean, maybe like the RFE rate went up slightly, but it didn't lead to a lot of denials. Like as long as you followed the regs and, showed how it was a specialty occupation, they are approving them still. So, yeah.
Okay. But the next question I had is, how do these changes affect smaller employers or startups compared to large enterprises? I think Mary touched upon it, but can we address that specifically?
Yes, well, smaller employers, and startups, you said,
Startups, right?
right? I mean, if the $100,000 fee stands, they will definitely, think twice about hiring people. I think it's harder for them to, uh, go through the process, then the large companies are actually in a better position to absorb these higher fees and higher wages. Like we said, they want to revise the wage levels as well. And if they make the cap salary based versus merit based, or like a true lottery that they run now, it's definitely going to impact startups and smaller companies, because they're the ones who are going to lose out in the lottery. They're not going to be able to attract the same kind of talent that they are able to attract now.
Mm.
And also, it's the even though he says in the proclamation that they're going after big tech, it's actually big tech that will end up winning if the fee sticks, because they can absorb these fees better than the smaller guys can.
Mm.
And not only that, there is a national interest exemption there, where they could show something like, where these people are exempt from this thing due to the national interest. So I also believe and agree with Shri that it is more targeted towards a smaller company and IT consulting firms.
Yeah,
Very
and
good.
added to that, even the doctors, the medical group of doctors, who are, some of them on the H1Bs, I think they raised the concern, and then the White House has clarified to the Bloomberg today, saying that, the medical residents and the physicians, and the healthcare will be coming under, as Kavita pointed out, like,
The
on the
national
national
interest.
interest waiver criteria. So we did, and when we look back into the earlier pattern of how it happened with even the COVID ban, we look into the data, there were some exceptions that were allowed, even citizen-born children, and then Chamber of Commerce enrollments, and so many places there was something that was going on the national interest waiver. But again, it's a process, and people, if they have to subject to go through to get exempted on the 100K, and even the few employers, I was just talking to them in the evening today, it was more than frustration, because they were really concerned about how do we run the business, moving forward, because it's a very substantial fees of 100K to be added to each individual, to get into the lottery, or even go towards the filing.
Mm.
And the F1s will be the more impacted ones, definitely, because they have invested their time and studies and their loans and everything, and looking forward to find an
Correct.
employment. And, it's going to be a very, very chaotic situation for sure. Mm.
So, thank you. So, have there been any changes to the dependent, that's the H4 work authorization rules?
No.
Luckily, no. That's the best now that Barbara's
Yeah,
You
there
don't
is
know.
no impact towards H4 or F1 or any other visas for that matter. Only H1s are affected. Obviously, if H1s are affected, H4 will follow.
Naturally,
Other
yeah.
than that, there's no specific, they didn't specifically say
Nothing but
say anything
H4.
about the H4.
So, my question is, given this evolving H1B landscape, are there alternative visa pathways like the O1 or the L1 or the TN that candidates or companies should consider as a result of the changes to H1?
Okay, yes, definitely. We've been already talking to them, and a lot of them are now coming and asking, like, what else can we do? Entrepreneurs especially may qualify for O1s more than, so they should definitely look into O1s if possible. Um, and well, TN is only if they have, if they're a Canadian citizen or Mexican citizen,
Mm,
that is a pathway available only in that case.
right.
But L1s, of course, you need to have worked for the same company outside. There are
Mhm.
other rules that they have to meet to be able to qualify for L1. But O1 is definitely a pathway that
Option pathway.
entrepreneurs should consider over an H1 if they qualify.
Yeah, the
Definitely, you had.
qualification on that is kind of, just
Yeah,
definitely it's very different, right? So it's kind of it's not like everyone who wants to, who aspire for in looking an alternate could qualify for that
Mm.
because O1 definitely a master's student who doesn't have an experience, all that he has a master's in computer science will definitely not be the right candidate for the O1.
Correct.
So
yeah.
all those, and then L1, as Srividya said, like it requires that 1 year of an employment out of US. So many things becomes a need, but definitely, no, they should
Compromise.
evaluate themselves into any of those other criterias with the situation that's going on now.
Exactly, that's what it is. But O1, many people, they don't even know whether they are, I mean, they
Right.
qualify for that. So go through the categories of O1 and just evaluate yourself, as Mary rightly said. So
Very good.
yeah, you'll be surprised. Many of them will be qualified, but they don't even know that they'll be qualified. And with the current option, because we are talking about the alternative things, I would also ask Mary to a little bit touch on the EB5 because she's an expert in EB5, just to say that whatever the options available in that.
Sure, thank you. Do you want me to go
Yeah,
ahead
go
quickly?
ahead, please.
Right, yeah, sure. So when we are all talking about, like other options, and particularly what I see with the AB5 is part of, it's not our office, it's a different entity that we do work with on the new routes, which I'm also a co-founder of it on the EB5. So the major challenge now I see is the aging out of the children because we all, people who had been entering US into 2010 or somewhere when the peak of the they had the older one may be born in India and then they are aging out to that extent of getting into 21 and they don't get into dependent status as well as finding their own status on the F1 and then the cycle starts again, right, finding the employers and everything. So keeping that as a concern, the current visa availability is on the EB5 actually, so on the rural and the high unemployment criteria. So people who are, but again, I know that this is not for everyone because definitely there is an investment that's needed. The 800K and associated fees are also higher, but our people, like our community, as it has been done for the Tamil community as such, I see, I'm just not generalizing, but a very vast difference between the education of the other people than, because there is always a fear that it's going to be a risky to lose this 800K or buying the green card through this 800K investment. It's completely different. With your due diligence, you should be finding an alternate because now, not for you, but for your children getting aging out, that's something available and you should definitely explore with the due diligence and every step taken to take that to understand so many details are interrelated to this, but definitely I would encourage you if you're in that position to look at it if you qualify yourself for that.
Yeah, and the priority dates for EB5s are also more favorable to Indians than the other categories. So not just new, I mean, it's hard for students and F1s to be able to do that, but if their parents have the money and can gift the money to them, they can still qualify for it that way, which we've seen also. Like parents gift their children their money and then they use that gift money to
Mm.
qualify for EB5s. So it's possible.
So
So
evaluate that.
definitely evaluate all other possibilities that are there. Like don't depend on H1B as your only pathway.
Correct. Okay, the final prepared question, then there's lots of questions from the audience, so we'll get to those. So how do the new rules affect portability, which means changing employers or extensions for current H1B holders?
See, definitely, as we said before, it's not going to affect the renewals, that meaning the
Mm-hmm.
extensions. So that shouldn't be a problem.
Okay.
Definitely, that has been clarified
Yeah.
again. But the change of employer, I believe, should also go well because we can always put that as an extension in this thing.
Mm.
So change of employer and as an extension, but we need to get clarity on that. They have to because even today, like people were saying that we were trying to do an online filing, to know at least if it is going through. But the online filing was also not working today, right? The system was down.
Yeah, their entire USCIS system, we couldn't even log, like if you log in, it was just blank. Like we couldn't see
Wow.
forms, nothing. So they seem to be doing some changes to the
Updates.
system.
Something is missing.
So yeah, the way the proclamation is written, I don't think it should affect all people who've
Change.
already gone through the lottery and are filing for extension of stay or a change of employer, like Kavita said. But they have not come and said that outright. They keep saying new petitions, which new petitions mean very different things. So until they clarify that they only mean cap subject
Mm,
petitions and they don't use the word new petitions, we can't assume that it's going to be fine. So
got it.
we're still cautioning people saying, hey, we just have to find out, and hopefully they'll clarify that in the next few days.
Okay. Okay, I'm not going to go to audience questions. So this person has a valid 485 EAD. So with all the noise surrounding H1B, should they consider switching the 485 EAD or stay with H1B?
Since they already have an H1, I think they're fine. They should, for now, they're okay. I wouldn't
Okay.
switch.
Unless there are any issues, they always
Right.
have a backup. But other than that, I know once they are in H1B and they can keep extending it. So.
Okay. So
So,
then,
with the time, I know maybe one of us will take one of the questions and then, move forward. I think unless we want to give some more input, probably, Prakash.
let's try going through them and
Yeah.
And okay, all
let's
right.
see. Yeah, let's try going through them. So
Sure.
this person, Spandana Alluri, her petition is approved and visa expired, but they have visa appointment booked in October. Is it safe to travel?
So how do they get in travel? Because if there is no visa that has been, if that's pending to
Oh,
be.
no, she's
So
going for
the petition,
stamping?
Oh,
yeah, I
yeah,
think
right.
looks like it because
Okay.
the visa appointment is booked in October.
Oh,
Okay,
okay.
but they should have a valid visa if they have to return back
Correct,
immediately, right?
correct, yeah. The
So
visa has
in that,
expired.
yeah, right. Oh, the visa is expired. Then
Yeah,
they don't have a choice. They have
correct.
to wait for the October visa. Are they in here or
It
in?
doesn't look like it. It looks like they're asking, is it safe to travel now? Which means they're
Oh,
likely to
okay,
be,
got
yeah,
it, right. No, see, if you don't have to, because even though we can assure you, with all that happening, the visas getting stamped and everything, practically we're seeing it, but we would, just advise you not to travel at this point with so many conflicts going on. So if not needed, even though your visa has expired, just wait for a little more of a time and then go for it. I understand you might have to give up on the October booked visa, but it's worth just to postpone it
wait.
and do it.
Wait and watch. Yeah.
Yeah, good. Thank you. I think you answered this question. Any impact on extension of H1B? They need to renew the H1B. You've answered that
No.
question.
Yeah.
This person says the latest update from USCIS mentions the 100K fees only for new H1B petitions. So when move to a different company within the US, they're going to file a new H1B petition. I think we answered this question
Yeah.
also. Yeah,
We said
correct.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Can you help us some clarity on the $100,000 rule for the following three scenarios? They have a valid H1B petition and 140 stamping is also done.
Yeah, it
So
doesn't affect
Same.
it doesn't
for
affect that.
extensions and yeah.
And then they have a valid H1B, but pending visa stamping.
I mean,
Same
travel
thing.
right now is risky. I think they should wait before they travel.
Yeah, that we answered that question also. And renewing existing H1B visa from India.
So that's a different, scenario. The reason being when, renewing, even though we totally kind of understand that if you had been on a H1B, so it says again and again, new petition means the people who never had been on a H1B will be the subject to this 100,000 fees. But we don't have an exact answer as we had been discussing earlier. When you file it as a new, there are many places where we classify as a new employment if they had been out of country, but within the 6 years period, but they never used that 2 years or whatever the period of time, then they come under the new. So we really need a clarification, and we would advise to wait on that before even going for a filing.
Yeah, the keyword is any new. So the any is the keyword there. So what kind of petition, what kind of, is it any
Yeah.
transfers or outside
It's-
countries?
Yeah.
We don't know it.
So then the next question, I think, was answered already. They're asking about transfers or extensions or new. So you've answered that. This person, Kadiresan, is reaching out to seek clarification on legal suggestions on two scenarios related to the proclamation. Scenario one is an individual is currently in the US on a valid H1B, and their extension is filed and approved after September 21, 2025. So within the proclamation period. The visa stamp has expired. They need to travel, so which would require consular processing. In this case, will you confirm? So you already said you would advise not to travel, right?
And also the 100,000 doesn't apply to the
To
extension.
them, correct? Yeah.
Yeah, to extension doesn't, it doesn't apply to extension
Right.
with
And
the
then
same
the
company.
scenario two is company needs to hire a candidate who's currently in the US on a valid H1 and eligible for a transfer. I think you answered this also. So it does not apply for transfers. So they recently received the next question. They recently received a green card and have some upcoming international travel plan. Could you clarify whether the cousin proclamation affects green card holders?
If
One
they can
year.
travel,
Yeah,
does
they
not
can-
affect them. Yeah,
Right.
Nothing to do with them,
they're
right?
good.
They are in a much safer place.
Yes.
Yeah.
So now this person, Kadiresan, has another scenario. The candidate is currently in the US, valid H1, eligible to transfer, and the petition is filed after September 21. Would they be considered a new petition to the 100,000 requirement? So such intra-US transfer. I think you answered the transfer
The
question.
H1B transfers, that's what we said
Yeah.
is not absolutely clear whether the fee, because on the form we would mark that as a new petition by the new
Right.
by the employer that they're moving to.
Correct.
But from their memos, they keep saying that's not what they mean, but they haven't come and said that outright.
Right.
So
So
we're
we
just
need-
advising you to be cautious.
Yeah.
It should not apply, but we're not sure.
Right. Right. So this person is asking, can this proclamation be challenged in a court and revoked? So I
Yeah.
think Mary
Yes, there are
answered.
a lot of there are lawyers gathering petitioners and plaintiffs to file a lawsuit. There should be one filed pretty soon.
Yeah.
So we're just
Yeah,
waiting
hopeful.
to hear they
So
are. and
actually,
definitely-
independent of this, based on what you just said, Srividya, I had a question myself. It seems to me when I was reading it, I'm not, of course, a lawyer, so by just looking at it personally, it seems to me that there is a misconception because the idea that seems to be portrayed is that these H1B visas are taking jobs away from Americans, right? And that's why they're imposing this fee. But isn't an H1B, even to get an H1B, you have to prove that you're not displacing an American, right? So is there a dichotomy here in what was said and how an H1B actually works?
Well, not all employers are required to show that they're not displacing. Only if you're H1B dependent employer, you have to show that.
No, but at the
It
process
doesn't-
of getting an H1B,
Yeah,
don't you have to demonstrate that you're getting this H1B because you could not hire?
That is green
no,
card.
that is only for a green card.
Green
Nothing for
card
green
for the
cards.
perm
Also,
that has
like
to
as
be
she said, not all employers. There are employers who are
I see.
required to do that, but not all employers. And also, that is a very, incorrect way of thinking because it's, proven by many research and statistics that H1Bs are only going to create more jobs.
That's true.
They're not
That's
going
true.
to take away
Displace
anybody's
jobs.
job, but
Yeah.
that is the propaganda that's being done.
Okay, so the next question is a student in the USA is studying, and when the employer applies for H1B, they need to pay. Yeah, so the
Yeah.
answer is yes. We already answered that. So their question, the next person, the question is prospective candidates who are in the US, can they transfer to a new employer? Yeah, we've already answered that. The next question, Bala is asking if it's clear that they want to control or stop H1B to protect in-house recruitment. Can we expect similar rules for other visas?
We
Yeah,
don't know.
that's
Nobody
speculation.
knows, right?
That's total
Wait
speculation,
for
right?
Fridays.
Yeah, that's true. They always put all their rules on Friday. We
Friday.
call that like the Friday evening. We're just waiting for the bomb to drop. Yes.
So whoever is waiting for anything to be filed, do that as soon as possible.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
what I would say. We don't know what is going to happen. So don't hold for any, the visas if you have L1s or anything, just file it as soon as possible. We don't know what's coming up for L1s.
Yeah. Right now, they've set their sights on H1s. Once they figure that out, they'll move on to their next,
Alphabetical order.
Right, yeah.
So the next question, the USCIS has issued 2 announcements with FAQ, but not having clarity about the H1B petition renewals. Can you provide more insight on that? So example, beneficiaries in the US and existing petition I-94 is valid till March 26 and apply for a renewal.
Yeah, they're fine.
They're fine.
Mm.
Very good. So is this the trump card? Now, this is a different question.
Yeah.
So is the trump card a replacement for EB1, EB2?
The way the proclamation is written, it is not. They are just saying that these people will be eligible to file for a green card through either EB1 or EB2, that they will meet the requirement that they have won some award or something. They're going to say that by paying this fee, they meet that criteria. But they have, again, not clarified exactly what is going to happen. I know one of the officials has gone on to press conferences saying that, we're going to do away with all of that and just do this. But they can say whatever they want. That cannot be done without regulations. So as of now, it's not replacing anything.
Got it.
Correct. Because, they wanted to push that Trump
Yeah.
now. So I even thought, like, why was this proclamation put together with the Trump card? Is that
There's actually, they have
a
not
marketing
provided the
plan? I don't know.
pathway. Yeah. Right. They have not provided any details as to how you can apply for it. They just wanted to say that it's there, it's available.
Right. I think this question is also answered. Any changes to extension and amendment policy? How many people can get a green card through EB5 and the 800K investment? Can multiple people get the green card?
It's the investor and their derivatives.
Yeah, and the family, they do get it. And then, like currently it's current on the other, not the on the rural employment and the high unemployment category,
Right.
they are just current. So it gets the filing fees and everything. When it's filed, then the whole family gets it actually.
So this person has a stamped visa and they're planning to bring their family in October. Can they proceed? Or should I ask them to come back?
It should be okay, but
Yeah.
They
it's
should
also better, like,
to bring them now, right? Yeah.
So the question is, should they travel to bring the family? Their advice is they should not travel, let the family come, right?
the question was not that way,
I know,
but
but now they've revised it. They're asking,
They
should
already
they?
have their visa, right?
yeah,
He
the
says
visa
he
is
has a
already
stamped visa and is planning to
Yeah, he
bring the
should be
family.
fine to travel.
He
Yeah.
should be fine to travel, okay. Since he has a stamped visa.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Got it.
Should I travel to India?
Tara is asking, H4 stamping is yet to be done. They have a valid visa till November. Is it safe to travel?
Yeah,
H4
H4
stamping is
shouldn't be a
yet to be done.
problem. But I wouldn't definitely suggest to travel anyone now, but if you're asking for whether it's safe or
They're saying H4 stamping is yet to be done. They have a valid visa till November 26.
yeah, they have a 797A, but they don't have a stamping. So definitely it's safe, but I wouldn't suggest anyone to travel now.
Yeah, got it. So Naveen is saying, can you say about H1B visa transfers? So we've already answered this, Naveen. So transfers, I think Srividya answered it. Look at the recording if need be, but that question's been
Yeah, see,
answered.
why the travel I'm just suggesting not to do is, because there is no clarity on many things.
Correct.
So, and we don't know what each of the port of entry, I mean, the officials have, the interpretations they have, because they have so much of power, and you don't know suddenly what is going to come. So it's better to wait to see, I mean, get some clarity and then decide to go. Because what he's saying that, H4 stamping is yet to be done, but what I don't know, like the H1 stamping is done. So, there's so many questions, and it's better, for people not to travel now. That's what I would suggest.
Okay. Folks, I see some of you raising your hand. It will not be possible for us to bring you on. So the best way to get your questions answered is post the question in the Q&A, and we'll try and hold these people. There's 15 minutes left, and it's already close to 10 p.m. They're very kind to give their time to answer these questions. So let's stick to the schedule. So what about current students in the US on F1 visas applying for a new H1B? And I think this question's also been answered, right? So you just have to go. Again, I'll post the recording. Please review the recording if you have to. So somebody got laid off and is in India for 2 months. Another employer wants to transfer and bring them in. He already has a valid visa, and they only need a 797. So that should be okay, right?
Yeah, it should be fine as of now, as we are considering, like anyone who already has been holding H1B should be okay, even though they are out of country. But again,
Mm,
it comes into the new employment, but still, as they had been a cap exempt, hopefully that's what it's intended, because everywhere it says new employment means, like people who had never was holding a H1B. I think Srividya earlier touched the point.
mm,
The question will be cap exempt if they are going to be someone. Even yesterday, we in one of the webinars, there was a question, if I'm going to be filing a J1 to that of a teacher
mm,
category, they come under that. There's not much of a clarification, but I would also assume they also can be coming under the national interest waiver, because it's a nonprofit.
mm.
And so many things could have been possible without to waive that 100,000, but it's all going to be something where we are going to be trying it out
Exactly.
and then let the world know what else is possible, right? Yeah.
So there's actually another Mary in the audience. So she's asking, they're not clear on the H1B transfer, whether it's considered for new petitions or extensions. I think that question's been answered. In case if the current employer has to end an employment of an employee, the employee gets 60 days to transfer their employment. Is it safe to transfer? I think this question's been answered. Yeah, this question's been answered. So does this proclamation affect for firm process filing or the I-140 process?
No.
It does not.
No, because it's limited to H1B. The
Correct.
proclamation is not going to be, but again, as Department of State issued about the vetting process of the firewalls on this one, we don't know. We were also discussing about it, what's going to be the next step, but as of now, nothing.
Very good. So is the H1B lottery process still applicable for FY 2027? They received an update indicating that starting next year, H1B selections will prioritize highly skilled and high wage candidates. Does this change still hold true?
The lottery will still happen. I mean, I don't know if the lottery will be there.
Yeah, we don't.
Yeah, the cap will be there, but I don't know like if lottery will be there.
Right.
Do you think they'll remove the lottery altogether?
No,
Well,
how many people are going to apply with this
Ah,
100,000
got it.
fee
Yeah,
and with this kind of,
got it. So that's what we mean.
requirements?
yeah.
Got it.
Plus, they have said that they will, I mean, they have announced that it may change to prioritizing higher wage positions, but they have not issued any proclamations or regulations in that regard yet. It's just something that they've been saying for a while.
Yeah, the 100 to the 1,000 took care of everything.
Yeah, yes.
So the earlier guy who was asking about his family traveling, he's confirming that his name is Shivarama Krishnan. He's confirming that his son, that uh, he has a stamped H4 and the son is a US citizen. So he says, I'm assuming his wife has a stamped H4 and the son is a US citizen.
Yes.
So for
So
travel,
for him to travel to bring them back.
I mean, I think is he the one that said he has an H1 valid H1?
Let me go back. He said he has a stamped visa and is planning to bring the
Oh,
family.
yeah.
He has a stamped
If
visa.
Shouldn't be a
then
problem
he
now.
yeah.
Yeah, if he has a stamped visa, he can go, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Manikim is asking, does it affect green card when doing a consular processing? So this is
No.
not impacting
No,
green
this
card
is
at
not
all.
with that.
At this time, no.
Yeah. So Ganesh is asking, next year will they remove any new proclamation?
Well, so I think
maybe next Friday. You don't why next
Yeah.
year.
No, yeah. With this, will they remove? It's a question like, there are so many lawsuits in pipeline. So we don't know like if this is even going to last. But uh, if they will remove, we don't know. Maybe new things can come up every
and
Friday.
this proclamation is supposed to be only for 1 year and can be extended. That's what it says.
Got it.
So we don't know. Yeah.
Got it. Prasad is saying he's on an H1B and his 140 priority date is 2015. He's in the US right now. Is this the right time to buy a home? So this is not a legal
That-
Out of
question.
our
This is
expertise.
not a
But you
legal
know what?
question.
Yeah, see, at least we are seeing the movement in the priority days.
Yeah.
Dates because of some, the ban for some of the family categories for some
Right.
of the countries. So, I mean, that is one good thing. Like, 2000, who knows? 2015 may come soon. 2015 may come soon.
Uh, Amar is asking, prospect employee is in the US on L1, he's on L1. What will happen to his status after his H1 approval from company B?
It shouldn't be a problem because it's already been filed, and that's what we are hoping. If it's going to be the H1Bs to be filed for,
Correct.
so people who had applied for the change of status in the last year lottery should be okay enough to have their change of status approved without any additional fees to it.
Okay. This person has a specific scenario. They're on an H4 dependent visa holder. In high school as a senior. That holds 1% as a founding member of a startup. So they're looking for investments that are 800K and it looks like they may receive it. If we do get this investment, how would the visa status change?
I think they should consult with an immigration attorney for their
Yeah.
specific.
This is very specific, so please
Yeah.
consult with an immigration attorney. So Deepak is asking, his wife is on an H4 validity until March 2027, but her EAD is valid only until Jan 26. She has applied for her EAD extension in June, so the status still shows document received. What's the typical ETA for approval?
Yeah, this is also very
Very
subjective.
specific, yeah.
Yeah.
Because which service center that has been applied for and what is that? So
Right.
many
So
details.
please consult an attorney. So Anji is saying their H1B visa 2024 extension is approved, but dependent H4 extension is not approved for the last 14 months. So if their dependents in India right now, but they don't have a valid visa. So
Why is the dependent H4 being filed here when they are
Yeah.
in India?
the dependent H4 is not approved for the last 14 months.
Well, if they're
They
not
just
here, the extension
stamping.
cannot be filed here. So they should talk to their lawyer.
Yeah, please talk to your
Even if
lawyer.
it's filed, it's abandoned the moment they leave
They
out.
leave.
Correct, yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, so I'm going to take two more questions. So others, if your question is asked, we just ran out of time. So this one, their H1 stamping expired March 25, but current 797 and I-94 is valid till May 27. The H4 EAD is applied last December 2024 and it's pending. So can they transfer to a new employer in October?
Again, we think they should be okay, but we don't know.
Yeah, we talked about transfers. Do we have a recording of this meeting? Yes, this meeting is recorded. So I'll be circulating it. So go to the ATA YouTube channel. That's where I'll be updating it. Just go to youtube.com and search for American Tamil Entrepreneur Association. You'll find the channel. At this time, do you suggest someone going to a stamping in Mexico? And if the employee has to go to India to visit
They
the
have to go to
family.
India.
They
They
have
have to go.
the home
Third
country.
country is not allowed anymore.
So they have to go to India.
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay, last question. They're on an H4 and they applied for H1 and the petition is in process. They're expecting results in a month or two. What is the effect of the new proclamation in this situation?
So I think we discussed about it a little
Yeah,
earlier as well,
since
right?
they've
Any
already
change of
applied.
status should be good enough for them to do it, get it approved.
Okay, so there's 4 more minutes. I want you folks to give some concluding remarks first of all, before you give your concluding remarks on behalf, and Lena, you may want to chime in. On behalf of ATA, this has been very useful. I thank you all for your time and answering questions patiently. Like I said, we'll be posting this recording on the ATA YouTube channel. So please, we'll go from the reverse now. Kavita, you give us your concluding remarks.
Yes, thank you so much for having us here. And it's a great session. I believe, even it's a learning for us as we talk more about this. And I would suggest that, people, please be very cautious and be aware of your own visa. Do not miss any deadlines because, whatever has been excused previously with non-protunct and things like that, it is going to be getting more and more difficult. And with this 100,000, if you miss anything and if you have to go for stamping, we don't know what is in place. So be very aware of what your own visa is because don't miss the H4 because many people come to us saying that at the time of filing extension, I missed the H4. Uh, with the premium processing, I didn't do the H4. There's so many scenarios we see all the time. So with just the carelessness or the procrastination or the time, they didn't see or miss to because they are not aware. So I would say that this be very cautious at this time because whatever was excused before, it is going to be very difficult now.
Very good. Yeah, Mary?
Yeah, thank you for having this session, Prakash. I really enjoy, even though it's been a very long day as we had been going through it. But I just, anytime to be connected with people this is the need of the hour. And so definitely being part of, to contribute to that definitely makes it worth of the time that we are all spending. And also, as Kavita said, like always in any kind of a situation, it's as well so subjective. So do not assume what it is. And also in the worst case, no matter what, your mental health is very, very important. Me and Kavita, very closely work with people who go through a lot in these kind of scenarios. And so please, no matter what, we are all there to support each other. And always trust that you either here or in India, we are all at a better place with
Very
our
good.
education and all the support system.
Thank you. Yeah,
Thank you.
Vidya?
Yeah. Well, thanks for having me. And this was a great panel. And yeah, like they said, we also learn from each other and we're always here to support the community. And one other thing I would like to caution is always seek out legitimate sources to find your facts. Don't go with, oh, this person said this, or this news channel said that, or this newspaper said that. Please try and go find your source or speak to a qualified immigration attorney about your case. There are a lot of we're seeing a rise in the unlawful practice of law. There are people who claim to be lawyers who are trying and say they're trying to help people. They're just in this to make money. So always check legitimate sources and go to qualified immigration attorneys to find help. and we will get through this together.
Very good. And Mary, I know you thank me. The person to thank is Lena. This whole webinar is Lena's brainchild. I just executed it.
Yeah,
But
so
thank
always, it's always nice to connect with Lena, and is a good friend, and, the best of the person, right? Yeah,
Yeah,
thank you, Lena.
totally.
Thank you.
Totally. Lena, any final word before we sign off?
No, I just want to thank every individual panelist here. They've been contributing to the community for so long, and this is the time of this
Correct.
hour is important hour for many folks with different situations. So thank you so much again, Kavita, Mary, and Srividya. Really appreciate, and hopefully, if there are more questions or if there are specific things, we will redirect those so that you can take it offline and probably advise them in a professional manner. But thank you very much for your community support here.
Okay. Thank you, folks.
Thank
Take care.
you.
Good
Thank
night.
you.
Thank you.